Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Zimri and the history of the kings of Israel from the 4th book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. Zimri was the first king of the 3rd dynasty of the northern kingdom of Israel, and overall, he was the 5th king in the northern kingdom of Israel. Zimri murdered the 4th king Elah to become king. However, he only ruled for 7 days and committed suicide. First, Zimri was an extremely selfish and violent man. He was a commander over half the chariots of Israel. However, when Israel was embroiled in a battle to the death against the Philistines at Gibeon, Zimri did not participate in that battle and remained back at Tirzah, moving about independently. When the fate of the nation hung by a thread as the war raged on, Zimri was engrossed in his greed for power. He was an extremely selfish person who incited an insurrection and assassinated King Elah to usurp the throne. Zimri was Elah's servant, so he should have given absolute obedience to his master. However, he committed mutiny by murdering the king. Then, in order to maintain his position as king, Zimri killed all the men who could possibly take revenge on him. So he was indeed a brutal and violent person. 1 Kings 16, verses 11 to 12 says, "As soon as he began to reign and was seated on the throne, he killed off Baasha's whole family. He did not spare a single male, whether relative or friend. So Zimri destroyed the whole family of Baasha." However, Zimri, who was so full of vigor and high-spirited, had the throne taken away from him in just 7 days. This teaches us that human beings may try to protect themselves using all the power and might of this world. However, they will vanish away like vapor if God is not behind them to uphold them with this power and might. Psalms 127 verse 1 states, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain." Second, Zimri burned the king's house and killed himself. The news that Zimri killed Elah and became king reached the Israelites, who were battling the Philistines at Gibeon. The people did not acknowledge Zimri as king, but they took Commander Omri as their king. Then Omri led the soldiers, returned to Tirzah, and took the city. Zimri saw that the city was taken, and he then went into the king's house and set the palace on fire and died in that fire. Everyone. 1 Kings 16 verse 19 explains that Zimri died like this because of the sins he had committed, doing evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the ways of Jeroboam, and committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. Even though Zimri only ruled for 7 days, yet the Bible states that he walked in the way of Jeroboam. The Bible is indicating to us that Zimri had been walking in the way of Jeroboam all his life, even including the time he was Elah's servant before becoming king. Everyone. The name Zimri in Hebrew means praising with songs or my song. If he lived his life full of praise for God, then he would have lived a blessed life. However, the name Zimri became a byword used to refer to someone who killed their master. It originally had a positive meaning of praising God with song. However, such a name had become synonymous with master's murderer. Beloved saints, which way are we following right now? Are we walking in the way of the wicked like Jeroboam? Or are we walking in the way of the righteous, like David, who made a covenant with God? Let us boldly turn away from the way of Jeroboam and follow the way of the righteous, praising God. I bless in the name of the Lord.